Hey y'all, happy Tuesday evening. So I'm standing here right now on the side of my house out in my yard with an entire mop bucket full of weeds. You're probably asking, why in the world am I standing here with a mop bucket full of weeds? And if my neighbors see me out here right now, they probably think I've lost my mind. And maybe I have, but you know what? Sometimes when you hear you're talking to the Lord and you just hear Him say that He wants you to share a certain thing, you just stop and do it. And so that's what I'm doing with my entire mop bucket full of weeds. I would be around the front of the house, but there's a neighbor out mowing his yard right now and it's too loud and y'all wouldn't be able to hear me. So I came over here and hopefully what's mostly private this is a couple of different things. One is I'm not just sharing the boring news that I've been picking weeds in my yard for the last hour and a half. You're like, so what? What happened during that time? I'm not like a big yard person, but I love a pretty yard and I cannot stand weeds, and they get all in the flower beds and they just keep popping up. So, you know, the Lord gives us all sorts of parallels in the spiritual sense, I believe, to go with the physical sense in everyday real life. So as I was picking weeds, it just reminded me yet again how we get weeds in our own lives, and those can be any number of things, as you know. And if we don't keep the weeds picked, they literally can take over. Brad and I went on vacation for about a week, and I did not have an opportunity to pick weeds every 2 or 3 days like I normally do. And so after a week, you can imagine what it looked like. They were just about taking over my flower bed. And literally that's what can happen in our lives if we don't keep those weeds picked, those sins and those bad habits that creep in and we don't keep a watch on it. And more than that, even when we are pulling those weeds and we're getting those things out, pruning those things out of our lives, if we don't if we don't pull the weeds by the roots, and the roots are still down in the ground, those same old weeds can just keep coming back. So the last hour and a half or so that I've been out here pulling weeds, very mindful that I needed to get them by the roots. I will tell you, there were some that were just so deep that for whatever reason today, I didn't have my little hand shovel out here or whatever, I could not get them out, and I know that they're going to come back. So I just wanted to take a second and just share with y'all, as I was just talking to the Lord out here pulling weeds, how He just spoke to me and said we all tend to get those weeds in our lives and we have to keep them pulled. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. The Lord had laid on my heart a few days ago to write a blog post on the weeds in our lives, and so this was perfect. This was kind of my confirmation that yes, Michelle, there's some weeds that you need to be pulling out of your life, and you need to pull them out by the root so that they do not come back. And you need to share that. You need to share with others that they need to pull their weeds. So y'all, and I hope you can see this because again, I'm on the side of the house because of the lawnmower, but that's a mop bucket full of weeds. Them old Walmart sacks wasn't gonna cut it today, honey. I had to pull, hey Luann, I had to pull the big mop bucket out. So here are my weeds. These babies are gonna go in the trash can, but stay tuned for a blog post in a few days, just talking about weeds. So I gotta show y'all too, just for fun and just because I'm silly, and literally I bet you the neighbors up the hill are going, what in the world is she doing? But here's my little I have to have my little tank top because it is burning up out here, although at least it was only like a high of like 85 in Little Rock today. But whew, I got to have this and the already sweaty sports bra from the gym, so I was all good there. And then these shorts that I'm just happy to be in, y'all, that are hand-me-downs from Hannah. This doesn't match. But here's the most important thing I want you to know when you're pulling weeds. Some rubber boots. Like, I'm not fixing to be with some, we'll just call it a critter because I don't like the S word or the R word, you know, if you're trying to be all scientific. So we'll just call them critters. I'm fixing to be about no critters. So I look like a silly, hot Southern mess in my whatever color shorts these are, and my gray shirt, tank top, and sports bra, and these boots. And normally I have on gloves, and I'm so worried about critters. Today I could not find the gloves, and so I'm doing around and probably got a splinter or two from the mulch in the flower bed. Anyway, I'm about as crazy as the day is long, and y'all probably know that. Hey Kim, hey Dorothy. But I really wanted to share what the Lord laid on my heart about pulling weeds. So pull the weeds out of your life. I'm going to be pulling the weeds out of my life, and then I'm going to write a blog post, and I'll be sharing that in the coming days. In the meantime, if you have a secret or a trick to keeping weeds out of the flower bed, please tell me. Brad talked to our builder today, and he suggested mothballs, to put like a packet of mothballs about every 50 feet. I think that's what Brad said, and that'll keep them away. Of course, I find this out after the deer have already eaten all our brand new flower or little shrubs or whatever they were. So anyway, if you know any tricks to keeping this many stinking weeds, a mop bucket full of weeds out, or any kind of weeds for that matter, out of the flower beds, please let me know. Thanks for watching. Live life, y'all.